Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right in, shall we? Today, we're unpacking the sheer volume, the staggering complexity, and honestly, the downright bizarre duality of modern crime. And we're going to do it in a pretty unique way, by looking at just one single day of headlines. That's right, we pulled a 24-hour snapshot straight from the pages of the Times of India, and what it reveals about how fast our society is evolving is absolutely fascinating. So, let's start with the fundamental question. What does a 24-hour snapshot of criminal activity actually look like? Well, if we freeze time on July 18, 2026, and really dig into the data, we don't just see a bunch of isolated incidents. We're actually looking at a mirror, one that reflects a highly connected, rapidly shifting world, where the traditional boundaries of theft, extortion, and violence are literally being rewritten overnight. Section 1. The duality of modern crime. From brute force to invisible code.
We kind of have this assumption that as tech gets better, old-school crime just fades away, but the contrast is wild. On one hand, out in Madhya Pradesh, armed men broke into a fort and used sheer brute force to physically haul away a massive, rare 16th century cannon. I mean, that's a crime that feels like it belongs in a totally different century. But then right alongside that, in Navi Mumbai, cyber fraudsters successfully stole 11 crore rupees, and they did it without firing a single shot. It was an invisible, purely psychological theft, executed simply by cloning the WhatsApp profiles of top executives. It's just a perfect split screen of our modern vulnerability, isn't it? Highly physical traditional crimes happening right at the exact same time as these incredibly sophisticated digital heists.
And you know, it's tempting to think of digital crimes as these bloodless, victimless acts, just numbers moving around on a screen. But the human cost is absolutely devastating. Over in Hyderabad, a tech professional tragically took his own life after losing 2 lakh rupees to a cyber fraud. In Lucknow, an innovator's death was directly linked to a massive 62 lakh rupee scam. And fueling this entire underground economy are these highly organized operations, like a fake call center that was busted operating straight out of a legitimate IT park in Navi Mumbai. The digital space has basically become the new dark alleyway, and it is costing people their lives. Section 2. The new digital heists. Engineering the mega scam. Okay, let's scale things up a bit from those individual tragedies to massive systemic fraud. Think about this number for a second. 357 crore rupees. That is the staggering estimated size of a nationwide tax refund racket that was just exposed by income tax officials in a series of coordinated raids. Just let that sink in. 357 crore rupees, entirely siphoned out of the system through completely fictitious tax deductions. Now, if I told you about a financial crime of this magnitude, you'd probably picture a corporate syndicate running things out of a high-rise penthouse, right? Well, actually, scratch that. Look at the logistics here. The alleged mastermind was a 30-year-old woman operating out of a slum in Merit, and the scale? It is breathtaking. She allegedly managed over 3,000 clients, pulling off this massive fraud purely through those fake tax deductions we just talked about. It completely shatters any preconceived notions we have about what a criminal mastermind looks like in the 21st century.
So who exactly were those 3,000 clients? A quote from the official reports really hits the nail on the head. Salaried employees lured by high refunds. You see, these victims, they weren't billionaires looking for offshore tax havens, not at all. They were just regular, working-class and middle-class people lured into a trap by the very simple, very tempting promise of just getting a little extra cash back on their taxes. This scam explicitly targeted everyday financial anxiety.
Section 3. Crossing borders. Transnational crime and law enforcement.
We are definitely not just dealing with local jurisdictions anymore. The international reach of crime goes both ways now. For example, on one end, you have a corrupt Punjab police inspector, who, by the way, was actually named in a U.S. indictment, arrested for allegedly extorting 16 lakh rupees from a family based all the way in the United States. And on the flip side of that, 2 wanted gangsters from the Punjab-Haryana region were tracked down and arrested thousands of miles away in Angola. The globe is shrinking rapidly for both criminals and law enforcement.
And this borderless reality completely fuels the global contraband trade. In just this single 24-hour period, a Thailand-linked cartel was busted in Navi Mumbai with 1.36 crore rupees worth of hydro ganja and cocaine, and literally at the same time there was a massive seizure of MDMA worth 5.2 crore rupees down in Karnataka. These supply chains for narcotics are stretching across oceans and entire continents before they finally end up in local cities.
And all this illicit money, it permeates absolutely everything, creating a massive web of secondary crimes. It ranges from the highly organized stuff, like 40 lakhs in cash and gold seized from a Bengal seminary during a huge 5-state crackdown on terror funding, all the way down to deeply personal manipulations. We're talking 20 lakhs extorted from a retired army major in a Thane honey trap, or a gym trainer in Bengaluru who was extorted by individuals posing as cops, threatening him with a fake drug case. The methods vary wildly, but the ultimate goal is always the exact same: leverage and illicit wealth.
Section 4. The final analysis. Who is vulnerable?
When we bring all of this together, we really have to look at what this single day of headlines means for us. Today, we've talked about armed robbers hauling away centuries-old cannons, and invisible hackers stealing millions with a few taps on an app. We've seen everyday salaried workers lured into mega scams, and top corporate executives targeted by highly sophisticated digital clones. Crime just isn't something that happens in a dark alley anymore. It lives right in our pockets, in our phones, our tax returns, our chat apps. When regular employees and top executives are both being targeted by these invisible rackets, it leaves us with one incredibly vital question to consider as we wrap up this explainer. Just how secure is your digital footprint in the modern crime spectrum? Take a second to really think about your own data out there. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and remember, keep questioning what you see in the headlines.